Yeah. 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 What you know about benchmark? They're speaking them facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I ain't taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tune in now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow. You know.
These real quick.
Take. I said take. Me out. To the ball. Gang. Ball is back. Welcome back to the Bench Mob Podcast. Had to start off with the GOAT, Bernie Mac. That's the best original version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. That's where I get most of my excitement. I don't pay attention to baseball till playoff time because y'all season is just way too long. But before we even hop into it, how are y'all doing tonight? Greg actually was on time tonight, y'all. So we thank y'all for y'all support, for our intervention to help him be better. Not being on CP time. For those that don't know of our listeners and followers, CP time is color people time. That means when they say 7:45, they mean 8:15. But Greg was doing better today, so we got to give him a shout out to that. Greg, what was a part of the fact? Like, how did you get on time today? What caused that?
Yeah, actually, we're just lucky I didn't get a chance to play basketball. That's really all that happened. I wanted to go play football. I was running some routes. I was getting ready to kick Chris's, tail next time I see him. So
stop it.
That's why I was out there. But I got tired of running routes. Came home a little early. Got the chance to take a shower. But trying to do better since y'all want to call me the diva of the show. I'm trying to do better.
We also got tonight. We are joined by Chris Money Bags over there in Margaritaville. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. We here, we chilling, relaxing. Baseball's back. The Reds are 5-1.
Reds are 5-1.
You a Reds fan?
Yes, sir. Don't like Candace Parker said, take that surprise out your voice.
That's the most random thing that's been said on this podcast.
Yeah,
Reds
fan. Yeah, he like
Ohio, Cincinnati, everything.
And of course, we are joined by the smooth operator, left-handed Miles Davenport, looking a little rough today, but lady,
You know what? I'm doing good. Let's start the show. You trying? You gotta be better next time.
Came left.
Beard gang. As you mentioned, Cincinnati Reds are off to a good start. Astros are 5-1, Phillies are 5-1, Dodgers are 5-2. The home teams are both at 500. Mets are 2-2, Yanks are 3-3. What's your takeaways from this early part of the season? We know it's like 700 game season for MLB. What's your takeaways from this first week of baseball?
That's bullpen is a little concerning. If you're talking from a Mets perspective, a little concerning, but I'm not too worried. Honestly, this team, I can't explain it. Just feels different. And it's not no analysis. I'm not giving you guys how many crazy analysis. It just feels different. The Mets don't feel the same. Today, the Mets won a game on a controversial call. Conforto leans into a pitch. He should have been out. And let me tell you something. As a Mets fan, you're on the other side of that 9 times out of 10. So I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna take that win. I'll be happy with it. But I feel good about them, man. They have a really potent lineup. The middle lineup is strong. Alonso, McNeil, Nemo's getting on base at a crazy rate right now. It's early. Conforto, obviously, and then Lindor, right? So I feel real good about them. And Dominic Smith is an incredible hitter. I feel good about the Mets, man. I just, I hope that bullpen tightens up, but I feel good about them. So from that perspective, I'm feeling pretty optimistic to win.
Hey, Miles, talking about your Yanks.
Well, I wanted to chime in. Batanz got hurt. Bullpen's a little shaky right now, but
Just on somebody. Shane Green's still out there. We got coin money. I'm not really tripping. Yeah, we got coin money. We're not operating. We're not trying to buy stuff all out of the Dollar Tree anymore. Shout out to Dollar Tree. Nothing's wrong with Dollar Tree, but we're not taking. You're not shopping for discounts, so we'll be okay.
I mean, as far as the Yankees go, they're expected to be in the conversation for a chip every year. So, I mean, it's early, but it's never good when you got guys missing games. Like Judge started off hot. Now it comes out he's missing games because he's got a possibly sore oblique or whatever it is. It's always something with Judge. I love the guy, but he just can't stay on the field. And then at shortstop, I mean, it's a little shaky right now. Glaber, not the best defender. So kind of Didi, you kind of miss Didi a little bit in that sense of he gave us stability at the shortstop position. And I mean, Glaber, he was I don't want to blame him, but he was the reason we lost the other game a couple days ago with the untimely error. But the team's going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Once they get a couple guys back in the bullpen, like Zach Britton, and we just need a little more chemistry. Like the starting lineup, it's going to be elite. We got Luke Voigt. Luke Voigt needs to come back and show us what he can do. Because honestly, I was in favor of trying to trade him for pitching because I think that DJ is a capable first baseman and Glaber's position's probably better off at second. But I'm not making calls for the Yankees. I can only do so much out here. So, but the Yankees, they're going to be in good shape.
I'm gonna go catch a few games. Definitely gonna go catch we should all go catch a few games, Yankees games, Mets games, whatever the case may be. Everybody gonna be vaccinated. It's gonna be a hot boy summer.
City feels nicer than Yankee Stadium. So let's go to City Field, man.
It's not.
City Field is
I've been to City Field once, and I did enjoy the stadium, but I'm not even a Yankees fan, but you could just feel the vibes when you walk into Yankee Stadium, especially the new stadium in the Bronx. I've been to both the old stadium and the new stadium, but yeah, man, we talked about it. Cincinnati Reds off to a hot start, 5-1, but Tony, you hit on it, right? It's a long season. Obviously, we don't watch every single game and whatnot. It's only week 1. We got to figure out what we're doing at shortstop with Suarez. But I'm excited. The team's playing well, right out the gate, which rarely happens for us. So we'll see what's to come. I also got to hit up my dad and get that access because obviously they're not a local team, so I struggle to watch the game. So there's a lot of watch lists and whatnot. So I'm gonna try to stream some stuff. But Greg, what was mad funny was me and Brad today was in the office, and Brad we actually went and sat in one of the offices so Brad could watch the Mets game and whatnot. You could hear him. We was talking about that controversial play at the end. And Brad was over there. He was over there sweating. So definitely
that's
the one thing that I'll say about the Mets too is that I have a lot of friends who are Mets fans. Obviously being here in New Jersey, and Greg, you hit on it earlier. Like the team feels different this year for you guys. With the signings that you had in the off season. This could definitely, Conforto's came into his own since, what has it been since like he started going off in 2017. So like he's been there a few years now. He's comfortable in his role. So definitely excited to see what you guys do, down the stretch.
Dom Smith is a name that Mets fans have to remember. Dom Smith was not well liked by Mets fans when he came up the minors. Since he's come up last year, he had an incredible year. I think he was runner-up for the Hank Aaron Award last year, which is an incredible accomplishment. So I think he's gonna have a great year. I think he's the best. He might be the best pure hitter on the team outside of Lindor. So I'm really, really, really excited about him. He's saying, Miles shaking his head saying no. Miles, who's the best pure hitter outside of Lindor in the Mets then? Since he's the Mets aficionado now.
I'm not, but I feel like McNeil deserves more respect than that. McNeil, didn't he win a batting title like 2 years ago?
Yeah, you see, this is so funny to me though. This is so crazy. Yes, he did. But the craziest thing is when I was in the group chat months ago saying that the Mets had a bright young nucleus and all that stuff, and I named McNeil and guys like that, it was met with you objected. You objected to that.
I objected.
Now all of a sudden it's about McNeil. McNeil's a great hitter, yada yada. And now we're all positive. Okay.
He shouldn't even be on the team. You could have traded him for Mookie Betts.
Who? McNeil?
Yeah, you guys didn't want to give him up for Mookie Betts. He was a part of that trade, and here we are.
Okay, we got our superstar. We got Lindor.
But Mookie is different.
Mookie is different, but Lindor definitely on that level. Lindor.
You guys are still searching for that center fielder, though.
Nimmo's playing a good center field. Nimmo's getting on base. He's a good leadoff guy. He gets on base. He's a leader. He's a league leader right now. I know it's been 4 games, but he's doing a good job. So, no, man, let's let the season play out. But you know, here's what I know now for sure, and what's not going to change. Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher in baseball. End of discussion. And the Mets have him. So I love that. And he's pitching on Saturday. I'll be watching. Oh well, you know what? I won't be watching, unfortunately. I'll be coaching a basketball game, but I'll be tuned. I'll be locked in when I can during timeouts.
I was about to say you coaching on Saturday, so you not gonna be watching. So transitioning, y'all. We mentioned it last episode. 17 games are supposed to be happening this season. One of the things that Chris mentioned was you're going to see a lot of records broken this season. Off the rip, off the top. Do y'all see any specific records that you think might be broken this season? For me, one I think that is guaranteed and obvious, which I'm pretty sure everybody has on their list or was going to mention. Brady obviously will pass Drew Brees for all-time passing yards. He's only 1,154 yards behind Drew Brees. He's going to blow that out of the water. That's a definite. Any other records stick out to y'all?
Well, I think go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I think single season passing yards is gonna come into play. Peyton Manning. Why was that you gonna say, Miles?
Yeah, I was about
to say. As I told you to go ahead, bro. Peyton Manning. He. I want to say it was 5,100 and something, 5,200 and something maybe. And I know a few years back, there was 2 quarterbacks that came close. It was Ben Roethlisberger. Miles, you know the other one? I forget.
Was it? I mean,
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I was about to say it's got to be Jameis.
Yeah, he had 5,000, I think 109 yards or something like that, and then Big Ben had like 5,129.
Just to throw it out there, Peyton Manning threw 5,477 yards.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah, you give Big Ben another game. You know, if he stays slinging the thing, he can definitely surpass that. But I mean, you got guys like Patrick Mahomes, right, who are now coming into their own after being in the league a few years, and you know, all the weapons he has. This is probably going to be a huge year for him after, you know, signing that big contract and whatnot. So I think Peyton Manning's record could be in jeopardy, but again, like, hey, you have to be elite enough to go out there and take it. You have to have, you know, receivers to be throwing down the field to and getting, you know, consistent yards like that as well. So, hey, I mean, he's had that record for when did it say he had the record? 2013?
2013.
2013. So, yeah, I mean, it hasn't been broken yet. Who knows if one extra game is going to help, but it's definitely going to eat into it a little more.
Yeah, Drew Brees in 2011 also had 5,476. So Peyton Manning passed it 2 years later by 1 yard. Greg, any other records stick out to you that should or possibly be broken?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I do think I do think that the rushing record can be broken by one of 2 guys, really. Derrick Henry obviously can smash that record, right? And with the extra game, if Tennessee has something to play for in that 17th week, you can see that record go up in shambles there, and they break it. But also,
that's Eric Dickerson's record.
Well, wait, what was the total there? What we have for the rushing record?
It's like 21-6.
What is it?
You said
rushing record.
Yeah, but Who holds the rushing record?
So yards in one season?
Yeah.
2,105.
By who?
That's getting smashed. By who? That might be Dickerson.
Dickerson.
That might be Dickerson. I think it's Dickerson.
Bro, he's held that since 1978. That's wild.
That is crazy.
Wow.
I think it's gonna get broken though. By Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley on his comeback, John, because it's hey man, he's built like he has that same build like AP, explosive. It's gonna be a big year, bro. It's gonna be a big year for Saquon Barkley, bro. I had to bring it back to Saquon.
This is right. This is what I was talking about. As soon as you said something off, here go Miles.
I knew he was gonna bring up Saquon before he even said it.
Yeah, well, first of all, is it far-fetched for me to say this?
No.
Oh, okay, thank you. That's what that's it.
I do think it's ambitious.
It's not. Is it ambitious? Yo,
just because he's coming off of an injury and it's his first year back, I get it though.
Saquon built different. He's not like the rest of these dudes. Saquon
I hear you. I agree.
He's not like the rest of these guys. We're not talking about what's Mixon. We're talking about Saquon Barkley. It's different.
Yo,
it's different. It's different smoke.
Pull up right now. Because I was agreeing with you. Now you're getting disrespectful talking about Joe Mixon.
So just quick question though. So then you got all these new weapons for Daniel Dimes and all this, right?
Don't say it like that.
Daniel Dimes.
Don't say his name like that. Don't say his name like that. Don't disrespect. Come correct, bro.
Do you think y'all gonna be more of a run team and you get play action, or like how you think it's gonna be, especially with how the NFL is going? Do you even think Saquon Barkley's gonna get enough attempts to get that?
I think it's gonna be a 60-40 run to pass split. I think they're gonna go 60-40. Last year they were more run. And they were kind of forced to be more run the ball more because of the weapons. Guys just weren't catching the ball. It just was a tough year. The O-line hadn't held up well in pass protection. They're better blocking, running, which is why I feel like Saquon's a big year. Yo, yeah, I think the Giants are gonna draft a guy like Devontae Smith at 11. I think Devontae's gonna fall because everyone's so weary about his size. So he's gonna fall. I think the Giants are gonna get a steal and get Devontae. You're going to add him to the mix. So you're going to see more passing. But I think they're going to address the offensive line again. Because this draft class is so weird because of how it all stacks up. Like, there are guys who didn't play last year because of COVID restrictions who are supposed to be first rounders, but because they didn't play, they're going to fall back. So you're going to get some really good players in the draft. So I think they're going to be able to address the O-line with the second round pick or third round pick. But they're going to pick the best possible player they can on the board at 11, and I think it might be Devontae. There's some smoke there, and where there's smoke, there's fire. So I think they'll go there and get the best wide receiver possible. It'll be 60-40 split. Let me tell you something. Saquon played last year, and he had the holes that Wayne Gallman had last year. Saquon ran for 2,000 yards last year. He was healthy. The way the O-line started to play.
Hey, Tone, can I request one thing? Can we just go just one episode?
No.
Without talking about the Giants?
No, he brought just one, bro. First of all, I brought up Saquon Barkley because it was relevant to the conversation. Saquon Barkley can break the rushing record. Are you disagreeing? He can.
I absolutely think he can, but I think it's unrealistic to have the expectation that he's going to do it this season after coming off an ACL injury.
I don't think so. There's no pitch count in football. There's no pitch count. All right, this ain't baseball. They're not about to take him out after 7 innings. He's gonna go the whole way. So yeah, man, like I think he could break the record this year so long as he's healthy and he's gonna run behind a much improved offensive line. John got some young studs in that old line, man. Just wait. I'm very excited, bro. As we can see, Matt.
I get what Chris saying because low key, if you not knowing, you might think this is a Giants and Nets podcast because they come up. Whatever we're talking about wrestling, and somehow KD will come up.
Right.
So. Hey, hold on.
That's all great.
You know why? I know I don't like this though, because we at one point we was talking about the Pelicans in this podcast. And I know damn well people don't want to hear about the Pelicans. We're talking about Zoe. Even with Zion being there, we don't want to talk about them. All right, like it's team. Our
my boy IT.
Our teams are going to come up in conversation. Yes, they will. But I started this by saying Saquon's going to run could break the rushing record. It's not a bold prediction. I don't think I'm not gonna predict he's gonna do it. I don't think that's fair to him, but he could. It's very possible. And so I'm just saying we look out for that. That's it.
Yeah, you can't make that prediction being that you work in the front office. You might hear it and that adds pressure to him season. I'm gonna throw out some records and y'all tell me what you think is most likely. 7 sacks in one game, 22.5 sacks in a season, 14 interceptions in one season. Which of the three is more likely to be broken this year?
What was the last one?
14 interceptions in one season.
Yeah, 22.5 sacks. That's held by who? Strahan?
Yeah.
They always come back to the Giants. They always come back. Yeah, you can't run from excellence, bro. You can't run from excellence.
No, you got that one. You got that one.
They always come back to, even when y'all trying to talk to the Giants, it comes up. They're saying, bro.
Right.
You know, it's just you can't run from excellence.
All right. 21 catches in a single game, 149 catches in one season, or 7 passing touchdowns in one game. Which is more likely to get broken?
I think the catches in a game.
21 catches in a game?
Yeah.
I think passing touchdowns. You let Mahomes go off. Yeah, I think if they play in the Jets.
Or the Bengals.
Nah.
I lost a lot of people.
Well, you damn sure did.
All right. Transitioning. We're going to talk about the AFC North, AFC South, talk about which players or, coaches, whoever has the most pressure on these teams. Something else to note, depending on where Antonio Brown goes, he might end up in the top 20 for catches all time this year. He needs 54 catches just to get into the top 20. But if he stays in A, I don't think he's getting 54 catches. If he leaves elsewhere, he might be able to get 50-plus catches. AFC North, Pittsburgh Steelers. Who has the most pressure in Pittsburgh?
Are we going team by team?
Team by team, AFC North. Pittsburgh Steelers. Who has the most pressure?
Ben and Juju.
No, I disagree. I don't think it's Big Ben, just due to the fact that, no matter what happens this year, he's probably out after this year. So, what
Ben's playing for the job. Ben's playing for his job. Ben's playing for his NFL livelihood. Let me tell you something. If this don't go well this year, it isn't like he's gonna go play for another team. There's no farewell tour for him.
But I'm saying I think this is his last year. Period.
Oh, then you're saying okay, so you have low expectations from the Reds.
That's what I'm saying. There's not really. I think the pressure is on Mike Tomlin.
I don't think there's pressure on Mike Tomlin. He's one of the most winningest coaches to come in the league since he's gotten here. If there's pressure on Mike Tomlin, then we know why it's pressure on Mike Tomlin. You know what? Yeah, it's pressure on Mike Tomlin. There's always pressure on people like Mike Tomlin. You know exactly what I'm trying to get at. I got to start.
Say it with your chest. There's pressure on black head coaches.
Yeah, you know what it is. That's what it is. But it's honestly the Steelers is such a stable organization. I'm gonna give him credit. I think that he's good. I think he's secure. He should be secure in his job. The quarterback situation isn't great as well. So and they don't run the ball. Let's see if they can get a running back. Get Najee Harris. Let Ben Roethlisberger turn over and give that guy the ball and let them run the ball equal amount of times as many times as they throw it. I think there's pressure on Corvette though, because he took a 1 year. So if you take a 1 year deal, first of all, you don't want to get injured. Second of all, you want to run into that bag next year when the cap goes back up and the cap's about to skyrocket. So he wants to touch that bread. So hopefully he can stay healthy. There's a lot of pressure on him to have a good year or two and not drop the ball. That wide receiving unit had a ton of drops. So there's pressure on him for sure. He took a 1 year deal, but it's Ben and him. Ben, because no matter what, Ben's trying to play football. He's not trying to go away. I think he wants to continue to play, as foolish as it is. But yeah, I think there's pressure on both.
I say more so on the receiving core as a whole. They need to play consistent the whole season, especially being that they're probably going to throw the ball again 40, 45 times a game. They can't lead in drops again. And it's specifically, as you mentioned, Corvette, you on that 1 year. If you want to get that bag, the year to show out.
You don't think there's pressure on James Conner, though? Because they're probably going to be drafting a running back after the year that he had last year. You don't think he's going to try to show out this year? Because now he's probably fighting for his job come camp.
He's a free agent.
Oh, he didn't sign? He didn't sign back with him?
On the team right now.
Oh, yeah, it's currents for him. Not currents, but for with them.
There's pressure on his career.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole different situation.
I think when it comes to that, even if they draft a running back, they sign them back, the thing, it wouldn't be as much pressure on them. I think that's where you would have to, this pressure on the coaching staff. Then are y'all going, they wouldn't even attempt to run the ball. Like a lot of times you would see 6 run attempts as a team. So
yeah.
They also just couldn't run. They also just couldn't run.
We'll see what
happens.
Ravens, who has the most pressure in Baltimore?
All right.
Front office.
Who you say, Miles?
I feel like Lamar got the most pressure. I mean, he's 1-3 in the playoffs so far in his career. I mean, everybody goes back to the MVP season, but I mean, he hasn't really shown much. And granted, they haven't put top flight receivers around him just yet, but I mean, he hasn't shown us that he can be that difference maker as a passer. We know what he is as a runner, but passing wise, he's limited in what he can do.
Front
office
for me. Yeah, give Lamar Jackson a chance to air that thing out. Give him receivers that aren't going to drop the ball. I saw plenty of drops when I saw them play. So I'm going front office. Go in the draft. Go get him Rashad Bateman. Go get him Rondell Moore. Go get him guys who can go stretch the field and catch the ball. Get him a bigger wide receiver. Give him a bigger X wide receiver. It's just because Lamar, you see, they're skating on this offense where he gets to run the ball and he can break play. He can break a big play. On any given play, Lamar can run for 90 yards to score a touchdown. And they are living off of that, and it's dangerous. They need to go get him a big wide receiver. No, Mark Andrews, as good as he is not that. They need to get him an X wide receiver he can throw the ball up to and have faith. Back shoulder throws, a guy who can box guys out. That's the bottom line. Every young quarterback needs it. Lamar is no different. It's just Lamar has an added dimension to his game that most guys in the league don't have. He's just amazing with the ball in his hands because he run like that. But he can throw, and I think once you get him a wide receiver you can trust, you're gonna see a lot. We're gonna see a lot more production, and you're gonna see more playoff wins. It's gonna translate. But get him a wide receiver, and that's on the front office. It's not a Lamar thing. It's just not.
In Cleveland, who has the most pressure?
That's a tough one. I think one of them is definitely going to be OBJ coming back off of an injury. Jarvis Landry was great last year for Baker Mayfield. It's who's going to be the number 1 wide receiver? Probably OBJ when he comes back. But just with everything that's happened in his career with the Giants going to Cleveland, and there being rumors of drama there, even though he didn't play the full season last year, I think this is going to be a big year for him to show that, hey, I'm still the same OBJ. I can still come out here and ball. He's going to have to really, keep his composure and be that guy for Cleveland and just show that he can provide more to a team than drama. I mean, I thought a lot of the stuff with him with New York got blown out of proportion. And I don't view him as someone that's on a team that, creates all this drama and whatnot. But again, we don't know these guys personally either. But at the same time, with OBJ, this is just going to be a big year for him just because last year was kind of quiet. The year before was a little quiet in his first year. So, I think a lot of the pressure is going to be on OBJ and obviously Baker Mayfield. He played great last year. For the most part, I think they went 11-3 in the regular season. And then with him, here's the thing with him. It's going to be his consistency that they're going to question. They're going to want to see him be able to live up to the same expectations that they had for him last year. And if he can't do that, if he comes out this year and plays like he did back in 2019, there's going to be a lot of questions. Is he the future of the Browns? So I think Baker's going to have a pretty good year with a healthy OBJ back, and then Jarvis on the other side along with Higgins. So I think and Donovan Peoples-Jones too. He's got a lot of weapons, so a lot of the pressure is going to be on Baker because there's no reason why he shouldn't do well this year.
He's got to double down. Baker's got to double down. He's got to earn his big extension this year. He plays well this year, he's going to get a bag. He doesn't, they won't pay him. That is the bottom line. So if he plays well, he's going to solidify his spot, and they're going to get him a big contract, and they'll live happily or miserably ever after. We don't know. It's Cleveland, but we'll see. It's all about how he plays this year, so he has to double down on that. I think there's more pressure on him than anybody else on that team. Odell's what Odell is. Odell is what Odell is. We know what it's about when Odell get on the field. But I'm not really worried about that. Ken Baker throw him the ball. Just trade him. Just do me a favor and trade him. How about that? Just get him up out of there.
I was definitely about to say, like, that's, I think, is the biggest thing for Baker. Are you going to be able to use all your weapons properly? He played much better when OBJ went out.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Can you actually still produce and keep all of these weapons happy and getting Baker his, getting OBJ his touches, Jarvis Landry, Peoples-Jones? That's a lot of weapons that you got to be able to get. And the thing is, they're not a pass first team.
No. They
have 2 elite running backs who each guaranteed probably next season, if healthy, each are going to get 1,100 yards rush. So he don't have even that many opportunities to get. If he's getting 20, 25 pass attempts a game, I don't think that's enough to get OBJ the ball, Jarvis Landry. Like, you might have to trade one of them just off of how their team is built.
They also need defensive pieces anyways. I mean, I know they addressed their backfield. They got Troy Hill. They got the guy Johnson from the Rams. They did a good job in free agency on the defensive backfield. But your best asset to trade that'll get you the most return is Odell Beckham Jr. So yeah, trade him. Just don't trade him to the Buccaneers like a bunch of idiots. Give him to any other team but the Buccaneers. And you know what? Hey, trade him to Green Bay. Give my man Aaron Rodgers that help. Hey, if it can't be the Giants, I'd love to see him get a ring for real. You know, it won't be the Giants. So get him some help. Get Aaron Rodgers a wide receiver. Get him the help he deserves and needs out there. The Packers are way too conservative, and you know what? This is unrealistic because the reality is, if you're reading the tea leaves and you're listening to Aaron Rodgers talk about hosting Jeopardy right now, he's out of there, yo. It's over. It's about one more year, and then he's hitting the market, and a very lucky team's gonna get him. It'll be a better free agent signing than Tom Brady was, but we'll talk about that later.
Cincinnati, biggest pressure, most pressure.
Chris.
Y'all gonna do this right now? Nah. Y'all gonna look at me like that and just sit here with big old smirks on your face? Y'all are so disrespectful. Like, yo, Cincinnati. There's two people that I want to hit on. If AJ Green was still there, you know who I'd be saying. It'd be AJ Green. But now there's someone else who seems to be a little injury prone, and that's Joe Mixon. And the reason I say Joe Mixon is because he just got paid. He got paid last year. He signed a 4-year deal. He got the bag, and he's been hurt the past 2 seasons. And last year, he probably could have came back towards the end of the year and didn't. Probably played it safe so that he could sign an extension and come back healthy. So the pressure is definitely on him this year to go ahead and produce. He got off to a slow start last year, then had that, I forget what team he was playing. I think could have been the Chargers, where he scored 3 quick touchdowns, and then he got hurt and was out for the rest of the season. So Joe Mixon is going to have to come back. He's going to have a big year. Play action is going to be huge for us now that we just traded or now that we just released Giovanni Bernard. We don't have him anymore. So we're looking at Joe to be that main guy. Help Joe Burrow out with the play action. We have some obviously receivers that would definitely benefit from that. And then the other guy is Zach Taylor, our head coach. Last year obviously wasn't his fault due to Joe Burrow going down. But this year we got to get it right in the draft, and we got to make sure that we're getting a lineman that can help protect. But they're going to start looking at him like, hey, what are you doing with this team? Are they improving year after year? Are they going to, hopefully be in that playoff? I don't think playoffs are in our future this year, but I think next year it's a real good possibility. I think the Ravens are certainly a team that we can beat with the way things are going with them. Greg, stop it. And then I think the Steelers are definitely a team. I mean, we beat the Steelers last year with our 3rd string quarterback. So I definitely think we can come back and win those 2 games this year too. So obviously that's being a little optimistic to get those 2 games against them. But hey, the Bengals got to start making noise in the division. We can't be the team like the Browns used to be that you see them on your schedule and you check off a W and you just roll over them. Like we got Joe Burrow, he showed flashes of greatness last year early on. So once he comes into his own too, it's going to be go time. You can't have a good quarterback like that and be a sorry mediocre team. So Zach Taylor, pressure is going to be on for him to make sure that this group is right.
Zach Taylor in O-line. Zach Taylor in O-line.
You can't.
He said all this stuff, man. Zach Taylor in O-line. That's the answer, I feel like. Zach Taylor ain't done nothing since he got here. Nothing. I know that he doesn't have much to work with. I know Cincinnati's been a tough situation for the last couple of years, but it's Zach Taylor and O-line. The O-line needs to get fixed. The upper management and Zach Taylor have a lot of work to do. They can get that O-line fixed and don't get Burrow killed. Then you have a shot. And Burrow damn near got killed last year. That's the reality of it. So can they keep that guy upright? You finally have a ray of light in that organization. So
franchise QB.
Really, you do. So can you keep that guy upright and keep him alive? Guess who that falls on? That is ownership. That is for the front office. That is Zach Taylor. That's it. If you go pick Jamar Chase, yo, listen, bro, that's not going to end well. I know Jamar Chase is an enticing pick. You got to pick Penny Sewell or Rashawn Slater. You got to take one of them. It just makes the most sense. And Jamar will fall. And I really hope I'm selfish. This is really more about me than about them.
Yeah, you hoping it falls to the Giants. We know. You know.
It's
You don't
not
got to
about
say it.
Jamar.
We already know.
No. You see, you're not understanding. Hey,
You want Devontae Smith. You want Jamar.
No. Let me hear. No.
Kyle
If Jamar falls, then it pushes all the receivers back one pick, and therefore it increases my chance of getting a guy like Devontae Smith at 11. So yes, I am being selfish by saying this, but I'm also, hey, this is the best thing for you. You know what? If they pick Jamar Chase, you know what that is? That's a Cowboys move. That's a flash over substance move is what it is. You pick Penny Sewell, you pick Rashawn Slater, whoever you have higher on your board, you pick him, keep your quarterback alive to see another down. That's it. Because you need him to be alive for the next 10, 15 years to help run that franchise and get you guys to a place where you guys are in the playoffs and actually relevant again.
But like we talked about, Greg, Penny Sewell, right? He's good, but there's other linemen in this draft that you can get in round 2.
No.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I know, but if you're the bank, you're not the Giants, bro. You guys didn't go address a bunch of needs in free agency and plug holes. That's not what y'all did. You guys have a lot of holes. And you know what? The most important hole you have is that O-line. So you take the highest graded O-lineman in the draft with your premier pick instead of waiting till later and taking someone else that might work out, a developmental pick. That's not the luxury you guys have. It's a different situation. It's levels to this, man. It's levels to this. It's levels to this. I'm just being real.
AFC South, we're going to start off with the Colts, who have Carson Wentz, who was a franchise quarterback at some point. Who has the most pressure in Indianapolis?
Carson Wentz. Not bad, Miles.
You good.
Go ahead.
It's obviously Carson Wentz. Like, he's struggled over the last year and a half, and clearly it wasn't working in Philly. So now he gets a new start in Indianapolis, and it's a team that's set up to win right now. And they traded for him with the hopes that, all right, we're bringing you back with your old coach that helped you get to that MVP level in Philly. Maybe we can lightning can strike twice, maybe, but who knows? Like, he could be a bust. But I mean, I'm rooting for Carson Wentz. I think he's not as bad as he was last year, and I think he's actually a really good quarterback in this league. So that's what the Colts have been missing since Andrew Luck retired. They've been missing that franchise guy to make plays and do what Andrew Luck did. Like, Jacoby Brissett wasn't the option. Like, Phillip Rivers was good, but also not the option. So now you're getting Wentz basically on the cheap. You're getting a franchise quarterback on the cheap, and now it's time for him to produce.
Pressure on that coach. He's a quarterback whisperer, right? So if Carson doesn't turn it around, guess who else is going to get fired? It's not just Carson going to be out of there. Well, I mean, they'll take that cap hit, but Carson will be out of there, and so will he. So it's pressure on both of them. But it's just those two. They were such a good team outside of those two guys. Outside of that he should play better, but we'll see.
Jaguars, Jacksonville, Urban Meyer's there. Trevor Lawrence supposed to be drafted. Who has the most pressure in Jacksonville?
Urban Meyer. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's got to be Urban Meyer.
he's coming from college. One, he's coming from college. Two, he hasn't coached in a couple years due to health reasons. So now a third time he's coming out of retirement to coach. So can he make it through a season or a few seasons without dealing with health issues? Who knows? I mean, it's not something to joke about, but like Urban Meyer, he's a good coach, good college coach. But as we've seen, not everybody can translate to the NFL from college. Like Nick Saban couldn't do it, and he went back to college.
Chip Kelly.
He's doing his thing. Yeah, Chip Kelly too. So let's see what he can do. He's coming to a franchise that's been, I mean, all their star players don't want to play there or re-sign. And there's something going on over there. So now it's up to him to take all the picks they've acquired from all these trades and build something. And I mean, they got their star quarterback coming in. So now let's see what you can do.
Trent, all right. I think it's safe to say I don't think anybody would disagree. Urban Meyer has the most pressure.
Greg was such Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Because Trevor Lawrence is baby Jesus. So hold on. Yeah. If you're talking about Trevor Lawrence and you're talking about it, they said he's the best college prospect in the last 25 years. Yes, Urban Meyer is the sensible answer, and yes, you're right. He has pressure on him. We know that. He tried to hire a racist, the worst guy in the world. We know this. Yeah, he has a lot of pressure on him. No question. He's on the power trip. No, it's Trevor Lawrence too. Don't not mention Trevor Lawrence. Now you don't get to be called all these things, the greatest quarterback in the last 50 years out of college, and oh my God, he's my highest rated QB ever, all this stuff, and not have pressure on you to come into the league. Nah, man, like it's all, teams are going to target him this year. Teams are on him. It's going to be a year where he's going to have to prove himself. Let's just see. Can he have a breakout year the way Justin Herbert did last year? Can he look like him? Can he look like the way Joe Burrow did last year? I mean, let's wait and see. We're coordinating him. They coordinated him before he even got here, bro. I'm still not sure he's better than Justin Fields to this day. On my Deontay Wilder to this day, I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure he's better than Justin Fields to this day. I'm so serious. Like I am so skittish about this, yo. They talking about he the best quarterback prospect. Andrew Luck was a better prospect to me. I don't get paid to do this. I'm just saying, like, from what I see, bro. Deshaun Watson looked better in college. Come on now. Don't play with me like this is crazy. So he's got a lot of pressure on him. Hey man, listen, I get it. He looked like the quarterback. That's what it is. He has the look they like. Bro, and he has a nice arm. I get it. He can play, but it ain't like he has no deficiencies or no holes in his game. So let's see. He's going to get battle tested this year. We're going to see.
I think you make valid points, but I think even if he gets off to a slow start or he doesn't play elite, they'll make excuses for him. So I don't think
they will make excuses for him. But I'm not. I'm on your ass.
No, I feel you on that. But I think the reason Miles didn't bring him up is because we talked about it last show when we said I think you had said it, Greg. Any rookie quarterback that is starting within their first year, the pressure is automatically there. You have that pressure. You have that target on your back because you're supposed to be the savior of that team.
For sure. And it's not always warranted. And I'm not saying that he'll have everything he needs in his first year and that he should be incredible. But we've seen, listen, for what they're saying about him, he should at least give me Justin Herbert offensive. He should be the offensive rookie of the year. If he's not the offensive rookie of the year, it was a busted season. For what they talking about him, for what they're saying about him, if anything less than offensive rookie of the year is a failure. Is a failure straight up. He's that nice, right? He's that nice. All right, go prove it. Because they've been talking crazy all year about him. When the lights get bright, he don't look the same. His little chick in the yard when the lights get bright. Yes, it is. When the lights get you're gonna talk about that championship. You see, he been coasting off that win as a freshman forever, bro.
Coasting?
Huh?
He had to go up against Alabama how many times? 2 or 3 times?
Yes, and since he's beaten them, I understand that. It's like Alabama hasn't gotten beat before. Did Sean have the same hype when he beat Alabama? Did he? I don't think so. Why?
I don't want to say.
Sean got different problems
Why?
now.
We're about to turn into a Black Panther show.
Why?
I'm not about to do
Just
it.
tell me why. Just tell me why, please. Tell me why. Come on now. Come on now. When Deshaun beat Alabama, did he have that same hype?
I feel like he did. I feel like he did. Only
over him. Clearly they did. Clearly he didn't. Clearly he did not have the same level of hype. Okay, so you know what? This is a deeper conversation. This is a deeper. I know we're talking about who has pressure on him. There's a deeper conversation to be had. That's all I'm saying. All right, but like if you want to keep it a buck, anything less than offensive rookie of the year for Trevor Lawrence is a failure. There is as much pressure on that guy as there is on Urban Meyer, in my opinion. Oh yeah.
Speaking of Deshaun Watson, who has the most pressure in Houston? Is it Deshaun Watson lawyers? Is it who has the most pressure?
The lawyers?
No, but I think that the GM for the Texans has the most pressure on him. Like he's coming into a toxic environment, which was basically eroded by Bill O'Brien trading star players for broken down parts. It's like it didn't make sense when he was the GM and the coach. So now you're bringing in an actual GM who has to make do with the mess that he's entered into. Like Deshaun doesn't want to be there, and that was before he got there too. So it's like now you got to maneuver this situation on top of the allegations stemming over Deshaun Watson. So now you got to try to navigate that cesspool that he's brought on this organization. So I think that Nick Caserio, I do not envy that man because this team could look a lot different if he had just traded Deshaun a few months ago instead of playing hardball and saying we're not trading him. Now it's all these allegations are coming out, and that trade window is looking – it's a little shaky. He could still get traded at some point once this blows over, but who knows when that's going to be. He might not start the season. He might not be there until next year. So it's like now you have to wait a little bit to trade him. So now you gotta field an actual football team too, because the Texans, all those guys, J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, did not like being there. So now you got to build that culture back up, and it starts with bringing in guys who want to buy in.
Yeah, but in the GM's defense, he didn't know that like all these allegations against Deshaun Watson were going to come. So like, just because Deshaun Watson says he wants to get traded, like if I'm him too, I'm like, you're not going anywhere unless we get something really, really good for you. And then it was just an unfortunate situation where all these allegations started coming, and like now it doesn't look like. Or Greg had said the other day, there's still teams that are interested, but depending on where this goes and how many more allegations come about and what the timeline's looking like, it could turn into a bad situation where now you're stuck with Deshaun Watson. Or he's suspended or whatever the case may be and can't even play, and then you got to figure out what to do. I'd be curious if they try to draft a quarterback in this draft.
Where are they picking again?
They don't have a first round pick.
Yeah, this is a hurt story. So they're gonna
Lord.
They're gonna end up trading Deshaun because teams don't have moral compass in the NFL. But if you're gonna say who has more pressure, we're talking about football, the GM. To make sure they get a good, reasonable return for Deshaun, and teams will try to lowball them because the guy's in the middle of a crazy court case. But also, his lawyers, like on the real, because it's looking like if he hits the exempt list, that's what's going to mess this whole thing up. If he could hit the exempt list, the NFL exempt list, because they may not be able to play him with all the allegations swirling around. You see the sponsors pulling out, Nike, HEB, which is a big deal out in Houston.
Beats by Dre.
All that. So them pulling out of these sponsorships, all that stuff, and pulling away public support is not a good sign, Not a good sign. My man went to go see 50 different massage therapists, and here we are, a couple years later. So it's really wild how that all works out. I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but it's crazy because if he hits the exempt list, then your trade value is just zero. He can't play. he can't play.
Right.
That lawyer is going to have to get. They're going to have to come to some level, some settlement here. They're going to have to be able to get out of this case, get out of this whole thing before the season starts, so he can play football to even be traded, right? So if he gets the exempt list, then the Texans are in a really bad spot. But that's why you're going to probably see them sign a guy like Alex Smith, who's still out there. I think they're going to sign him as a contingency plan. They already signed Tyrod. They signed Tyrod, but for some reason, Tyrod doesn't ever get the benefit of the doubt. You saw that the Chargers punctured his lung just so he couldn't play last year. I swear he did it on purpose. I swear he did it on purpose to this day. They punctured that dude's lung before the game so Justin Herbert could get in there. They knew what they had. Try to get him up out of there. But yeah, you see, so I think they're gonna go Alex Smith. For Tyrod, for real, yo. We make this.
Yo, that's a heavy allegation right there.
They punctured dude's lung on purpose, bro. When you heard something like that happen before, just so they could let their blonde hair QB go out there and go out there and win offensive rookie of the year. It worked out. It was smart.
Yo, what we should do is we should do a bonus episode, right, where we talk about the deeper conversations and just hot take after hot take and just really get into it.
They did it on purpose, bro.
You gotta pay extra for that episode because
for Greg to go to the deeper conversation, that's unedited. I want Greg. You gonna have to pick that.
You can curse on that episode.
Miles, hold on. So I was watching that I Am Athlete episode where Brandon Marshall was just hilariously wrong and loud, right, about NBA contracts. And in that episode, Ocho Cinco talked about how he requested a trade, and I'm sure you guys know. You watched this. He requested a trade, and the owner said, "Hell no," right? Essentially, and then after that, the next season he came up a 1,500 yard season, something like that. The year before, next season he had like 500 yards, right? And it wasn't because he was hurt. They just did not target him to depreciate his value in the market, right? And just show him, hey, we're in control here. So you telling me a league where that would happen is a league where it's out of the question that in a league where that could happen, that they wouldn't just puncture Tyrod Taylor's lung on purpose?
Not if it means death.
Hey, listen, these guys puncture lungs every day, and you know what? Football means death. Football's synonymous with death because if you're running it, every single play is a car crash. No one should even be playing the sport. So they don't care about life and death. They're trying to cover up CTE. So do they care about death that much? Hey, conspiracies with Greg. Let's do this. We're gonna do a segment on this now because you know what? Is what I'm saying crazy? The NFL trying to cover up CTE. That was killing dudes. In fact, it's killing more people as repercussions because dudes going out there having road rage, committing murders, all types of crazy stuff. But this isn't a league where
Greg on a roll.
they would puncture Tyrod's lungs to let their young quarterback get in there and get an excuse.
Well,
you don't want to do the PR hit.
We have a new segment now that'll be a part of every episode. Good thing with that though, me, Miles, and Chris don't have to do anything for that segment. That's all. The floor will be for Greg. So we don't have to do no homework, nothing for that. Last team, they actually won a division, Titans. Who has the most pressure in Tennessee?
I feel like Tannehill a little bit, honestly, because, I mean, as good as he's played, they got to the AFC Championship a couple years ago, then I don't want to say regress, but they didn't make it as far last year. So now it's like you're getting paid big bucks. Now you got to produce. Like, we know Derrick Henry's the heart of this team, but you only go as far as your quarterback. So he's got to step up. He's got to make plays, and he's also got to do what he's doing in the regular season in the playoffs too. So we'll see. That's my guy that has the most pressure on him.
I would agree with you with Tannehill. I was thinking the same thing. Like, hey, it's not enough to just get to the playoffs, right, and then lose first round. You can't rely on on Derrick Henry throughout the whole season. It's just not realistic. You can't rely on the run game. Teams are going to figure it out and they're going to shut it down, no matter how much of a force Derrick Henry is. But for Derrick Henry, he's got some pressure on him too, and it's probably not fair pressure. And the reason I say that is because with Derrick Henry, he's been so great throughout his career that, like, he can't afford to have a bad season or else they're going to come at him, because that's what's going to make the team fall apart is, hey, if you don't have a run game, now you're just relying on Tannehill and his arm, which Tannehill's been good when he needed to be, but he hasn't carried that team like Derrick Henry has carried that team. So if Derrick Henry has a bad, he can have a bad game, but if he has a bad season where, let's say, he only rushes for 800 yards, and we're used to seeing him rush for way more than that, right? Even if he only rushes for 1,000 yards, we're still used to seeing him rush for way more than that. They're going to come at Derrick Henry like, yo, he's declining. What happened? He's not in shape. His body's not right. You know how they like to do people. So a lot of the pressure is going to be on Derrick Henry too, which may not be fair, only because he's been so great over the past few years.
I'm gonna throw a name out there that might not be as well known or might not be thought of as pressure. Shane Brown, the new defensive coordinator, just because the Titans allowed the 8th most points per game last season. So him coming in as a new defensive coordinator, who, by the way, they didn't even have a defensive coordinator last season. Him coming in, he's going to have to do something to help improve this defense. If this is an improved defense, maybe you don't have to rely on Tannehill so much. Maybe you don't have to rely so much on Derrick Henry. If they have a better defense, giving up the 8th most points, you're putting yourself in a position that you're going to have to rely on Tannehill's arm. And I'll say it, if nobody else will, I'm not relying on Tannehill's arm for 30, 40 attempts. I'm not doing it.
Fact. That's fair. And that's a tall order too when you just got rid of Adoree Jackson.
Yo, why you say Adoree Jackson, bro?
Because I want to see if Greg would go off about the Giants, but nah, he's containing himself right now.
Cohen purposely didn't do the NFC East today, knowing that we eventually talk about the Giants.
We gonna go to East division. We bringing it down. We wasn't starting at NFC East today because we have so much on the docket. If we did the NFC East today, we're not getting to the rest of the docket. It was a business decision. Producer. It was a producer decision.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
Cap or facts? First one. Draymond Green, I don't know if y'all heard, but he had a comment on young players. They soft as hell. I find myself trying to talk ish to some of these young dudes that won't talk, and they're like trying to be a friend. That's what these young dudes do nowadays. I don't understand it. Is he speaking cap or facts?
It's facts. Facts. And Tony, we were talking about this yesterday at the basketball practice, bro. These kids are soft. Okay, when we were growing up playing basketball, and I hate to age myself because it wasn't that long ago, but I didn't like anybody. There was nobody I liked. I didn't like anybody. I was angry all the time. I was mad. Like, it's so different now. Everybody's buddy. Everybody's trying to exchange jerseys and all that stuff. And it's part of that's AAU culture. Like you saw yesterday up close. AAU culture is a big culprit in that. And that's why a lot of these kids don't have any dog in them. But anyway, it's dog eat dog. You think about the world of professional sports, it's cutthroat. These guys get cut. Jerome Robinson was a first-round pick, got cut by the Wizards. He got cut by the Wizards today. Like, his money guaranteed. He's going to be straight. But that's how crazy this thing is. Like, it's wild. An undrafted guy can come in and take your spot. So if you think there's room for friendship, especially with Draymond, who literally do anything to win a basketball game. I mean, anything. Like, low blow Braun to try to win a basketball game. I ain't forget about that, Draymond. Hey, and he definitely did, by the way. It's definitely that. But yeah, like what are we talking about? What are we talking about right now? Like why is that even a thing that these young dudes think is gonna help them get by in the NBA? Not with guys like Pat Bev out here. Like, Pat Bev's only in the NBA because he doesn't like anybody, because he hates everyone. Montrezl Harrell, he only in the league because he hates everyone. That's how it is, bro. A guy like Lou Dort, you get to the league because you're just mad. Like, that's part of it too. Like, you gotta be a dog. Not enough dogs anymore, especially with this rookie class. But hey, Draymond's right. Draymond is usually right when he speaks, although he did say something controversial that was wrong recently. But I'm sure.
Yeah, we're not gonna give that any attention. What he said.
Yeah,
that I agree with. Second one. We talk about the MVP conversation the last 2-3 episodes. It always comes up. One name that has not come up on this show and does not come up often at all. Should Donovan Mitchell be a part of this MVP conversation? Cap or facts?
Okay.
I'm agreeing, but I'm seeing a lot of people as of late saying that He should be in the conversation because they are number one team in the NBA record-wise.
What's up, Greg? What's that? What's that you holding up?
That's a cap, a bottle cap.
Oh, I thought it was an iPhone cube for the charger.
You got the smallest iPhone I've ever seen. Nah, bro.
You know, Chris still got the prototype.
Bro, my phone foggy. I need an upgrade.
Next cap or fact. The Nets can win the East without either KD or Harden. They both have been injured throughout the season. If we get to the playoffs, we see them get injured. If one of them are injured, can they still win the East?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yo, I'm
aficionado.
The Bucks don't put fear in my heart. The Heat.
Philly?
The Heat or something's wrong. I don't know. I'm getting a little worried. Hopefully they pull together. But I think that if you have Harden's a bigger loss than KD. That's the hot take here, if there's even a hot take. And I don't think it is. I'd rather have Harden than have KD down the stretch if I'm going to lose one. Hopefully, knock on wood, I don't lose any of them. But if I had to pick, it'd be Harden. If it was Kyrie and KD, I'd be a little concerned. But with the additions of LaMarcus, who clearly knows how to play basketball, was dogging it. And Blake, who's still catching bang outs and knows how to play basketball at a high level, was dogging it in Detroit. They'll get by the East. I really do think that. But they're not winning a chip without. It is razor thin. People are acting like this Nets team is worlds better than the Lakers, and it's just not true. Don't believe the hype, bro. It's not that. The gap's not big. That Lakers team defense is incredible, and when you add LeBron and AD, and you've got all these pieces, and Drummond, who's 27, man, it's a big addition. That team is going to give the Nets a hard time in this series. It's going to be a 7-game series. I don't know why Brian Winore's going on TV talking about all this stuff. I know I'm hijacking the conversation right now, but yes, they can get through the East. I'm not really worried about it. Who am I scared of? Ben Simmons? Who's scared of me? Ben Simmons? Giannis? Come on, bro. Giannis in the playoffs? That's what I'm scared of?
You mentioned LeBron. You see LeBron's post today talking about with the picture of him and AD talking about a storm is coming. They're predicting thunderstorms. They coming back and they coming back healthy.
You know the vibe. Lakers are sick.
Playoff Bron is worth 2 of your superstars. No cap. Playoff Bron is worth 2 of your superstars. That's crazy. And it's a fact. Playoff Bron is worth 2 of your superstars. So whatever you think the Lakers look like right now, discount that because when LeBron come back, that team goes from 0 to 100 real quick. It is different when Brian gets there's different smoke. So yeah, like he's right.
Shout out to Aubrey Graham. Yo, you need to connect with us. We use a lot of your lyrics throughout the show. Shout out to you, Aubrey. Speaking of the Eastern Conference, right? Okay, Brooklyn's at the top of it. Philly's at the top. We get that. Milwaukee's up there too. Who in the East do you fear or do you not want to play of these lower seeds? Is it a Boston who's at 7th seed? Miami's at the 6th seed. New York is the 8th seed right now. Indiana and Chicago are part of that play-in segment right there. Out of these lower seeded teams, which team do you not want to see in the playoffs when it comes to the East?
I'll probably say Miami.
Throw in a Charlotte and Atlanta in there.
Miami or Boston. And neither of them really scare anybody. Well, Miami's legit. I'm gonna put respect on their name, but everybody else ain't. Come on now. Sorry,
yeah, but it goes more than them just being legit. It's the Jimmy Butler effect and the energy that he brings for his team.
Oh, no,
I think that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, Miami's a whole conversation. Like you're right, Miami's a whole conversation. They're legit. But everybody else, Boston. More pretender than contender, but they have enough star power to be annoying, annoying in a series. So those two teams, Miami and Boston, I don't think this is even that deep. Miles, would you agree? Being the resident Knicks aficionado on the show?
I didn't say a word about the Knicks, but I would definitely say Miami. I mean, they're getting healthy again. They got Vic now. They got a superstar in Jimmy, so let's see what happens.
Star and Jimmy. Before we transition, So we got Boston at 26 and 26, New York at 25 and 27, Indiana at 23 and 27, Chicago at 21 and 28, and Toronto at 20 and 31. Who are the two teams that make it in, you think, for that 7th and that 8th seed?
Is Charlotte in the playoff picture right now? Or no? They're out?
They're at like 6 or 7.
Charlotte's at 7? Charlotte?
Charlotte's the 4th seed right now.
Charlotte? Wow, the
Charlotte
East is deep.
26 and 24. They have a game and a half above Miami and a game over Boston, 2 games over New York.
What about
I
the
think
Hawks?
you're going to end up seeing a
Hawks with
Charlotte.
the 4th seed.
What you say? Go ahead, Miles. My
I
bad.
thought the Hawks with the 4th seed.
Nope, the Hawks are the 5th seed. They have a lower winning percentage. They're 27 and 25. They got one more loss. But that between the 4th and the 12th spot, it's only like 3 or 4 games. So that definitely can change within the last 20 games or so. You might see Charlotte end up at the AFC. You might see New York. But who do you think is going to make it out of those playoffs teams? Do you see Indiana, Chicago, or Toronto making a run to get in as a 7th or 8th seed?
I think Indiana will make a run. I think Indiana will make a run with that addition of Karis LeVert playing good basketball again. If I had to pick a team, I believe the most out of them right now would be Indiana. I think Toronto's had just too much turmoil internally on that team, and it's not the same. And and again, they should have traded Lowry when they had a chance. They're gonna have to blow this thing up. But yeah, I think that Indiana is the most trustworthy team of all these teams you've named in the lower echelon, right? I mean, the Hawks will off top will get in, but I don't think they're really in this conversation. They're not going to be in play for a play-in game. You're talking about play-in game team. Indiana will be the team that I would trust the most anyway. To not
So you think? So then Knicks would drop out.
Not necessarily. I mean, the Knicks are going to be in a play-in situation. I feel like
That's
it's going to come in one game.
If Indiana gets in, Knicks are the AFC right now. That means somebody's not. You feel me? So the Knicks, are you saying the Knicks is probably going to be the odd team out or Boston?
Oh, the Knicks, yeah. I think Boston will probably get it. But the Knicks are hard to read because they play good D. They play well all year. And
Miles is sick.
No, but like they could get in. The Knicks could get in. I'm not so sure. That's a really hard one because they're not better than Boston. If you're in a playing situation with Boston for the 8th seed, if it gets to that place, I don't envy you. Although it is one game and you could win it, because it's only one. But I'm gonna go with Boston because they got more talent. I'm gonna go with Indiana because they got more talent. I'm gonna go with Charlotte because they have more talent. Like that's where I feel like I saw. And like I think Melo will come back. I think Melo will come back towards the latter half of the season too, and get some play in the playoffs. I'm excited. I'm rooting for, you know what? Let's just call a spade a spade. I want to see Charlotte. This ball's on the Charlotte and the Knicks for me. I want to see Charlotte get in far more than I want to see the Knicks get in. I want to see LaMelo Ball. I'm sorry. I want to watch LaMelo Ball. I don't want to watch RJ Barrett in the playoffs. I want to watch LaMelo Ball. I'm sorry. That's just my reality. I think most people who listen to this podcast would agree with me that LaMelo's more fun to watch. All right, so
hey,
that's my stand on that.
Hey, y'all like flashiness over.
Oh my God,
Eddie.
We're
not getting into that.
Flashiness. Like RJ so much.
Not tonight.
Hold on. So when the draft happened a couple years ago, people who listen to this podcast know me can attest to this. I said that Kevin Porter Jr., if you ever figured it out, would be better than RJ Barrett. I said that, people laughed in my face.
I feel like you said that about like at least 30 people in the draft.
Well, there's a lot of dudes that could be better than RJ Barrett. Yes, this is true. But Kevin Porter Jr., like for real, like it's starting to happen. I'm not saying he's better than RJ Barrett. He's not right now, but it's starting to happen. And I'm telling you right now, the trajectory we're on right now, and if he's got a chance in Houston to play, next year you're going to be on that top 25. You're going to be mad because you're going to be on there in RJ won.
Dad, you think 2 years in a row, RJ not going to be on there?
Probably not. The league is crazy. The league is crazy, bro. When Cade step in the league, when Cade get here, you better than RJ Barrett.
All right.
I mean, tell me, say otherwise. When Evan Mobley get in the league, what's up?
I mean, he's still one of the youngest players in the league.
Who?
Two.
RJ Barrett.
RJ's young. This doesn't mean that RJ's not a good player. It just means that was overdrafted. That's all I've been saying. You know, if RJ wasn't the 3rd overall pick, I'd be singing his praises right now.
You wouldn't. I know for a fact you would.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
He's a lefty. It bothers you. I don't know.
I'm a lefty
too. I know.
I'm a lefty.
Why you hate him?
I'm a lefty.
Yeah, me too. You're supposed to be in this together. Like, what's going on?
Miles, he's not a 3rd overall pick guy. That's not it. What is special about RJ's game? Tell me one thing he does that's special.
Does it have to be special? Like, if he's doing what he's doing.
As a 3rd overall pick, yes. That's the bar.
Okay, my bad. If he's not jumping out the gym or spinning on the floor or doing crossovers, I guess he's not that good. He's not that good.
It's not about that, though. You know that. It's not about how much flash he is.
It feels that way because he's been consistent this whole year. And somehow.
Do you draft at 3rd overall for Steady Eddie? Or do you draft at 3rd overall to get a superstar?
This guy.
Is that what this is?
No, if you put his numbers up against other guys at the same time in their career that are superstars right now, it's right along those lines. He's 20 years old. He can't even buy a drink yet.
Yo,
it's like you're ready to call him a bum.
We gotta stay here. We gotta stay here for 1 second. Because basketball fans love doing this. And in fact, sports fans are doing this. When fans will stray from the eye test. They'll stray away from it when it doesn't fit their narrative. So you look at the numbers and you go, oh, look at the numbers. His player efficiency rating is this. Oh, when LeBron was in his second year, he had his ratings higher than LeBron's in his second year. Do you notice this? When you don't see it on tape, when you don't see special on the screen, sports fans love to go to the stats. They love doing that. They love to be nerds all of a sudden. Everybody want to be a nerd. Yo, Miles, I know you watch basketball.
Bro, hold on.
How many times does RJ look special to you since he's gotten here?
What? He's still developing.
That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. Because Darius Garland looked special against the Spurs earlier this week. Special. 37, all types of finishes in the basket, getting guys involved. He looks special. Crafty.
Dude, that's cute.
No, it's not cute. What's not? No. You see?
You're not even the best guard on his team. So I don't want to hear that.
You see what you're doing now?
What am I doing?
You're deflecting.
I'm not deflecting.
Yes, you are. What about RJ's game has looked special? What about his game screams special since he's gotten here? Please tell me.
Does it have to be special? Does he have to jump out the gym like Zion or Ja to be special?
No.
Yes.
He doesn't have to jump out the gym like Zion or John, nothing like that. No, but there has to be some quality about his game, whether it's a feel for the game, whether it's him being really intelligent, right? And just being a good playmaker. There's got to be something he does well. Tyrese Halliburton was on that list over RJ Barrett. Tyrese Halliburton has already displayed special basketball IQ. He's a great playmaker. LaMelo, special basketball IQ. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's
I wasn't
RJ style.
I wasn't going to get into this because I almost said something.
Yo, transition to the West. We got
you can't do that.
We got Dallas.
Oh my God.
Memphis, San Antonio, Golden State, New Orleans, and the Kings are all in the conversation really for that play-in situation between Dallas at the 7th seed and Sacramento. Sacramento's probably not in it, but you got Dallas, Memphis, San Antonio, Golden State. Who do you see of those lower teams that make it in for that play-in? And who is the most scary team you don't want to play on those lower seeds?
Probably the Mavs. I mean, if you can get KP healthy, I mean,
that's a big if.
That's a big if. But if he's healthy come playoff time, that's a good squad. That's a decent squad. Like, that shooting on that team, they can score the ball. So it's like last year they went toe-to-toe with the Clippers. Before Porzingis got hurt, they were up in the series. But, you know, again, if he stays healthy, they can make some noise. I don't know if they'll win first round, but they'll make it a tough series, whoever they play.
What y'all think about Portland being at a 6th seed? Do you think Portland can actually get out first round as a 6th seed, or they got to still move up the ladder?
They got the first round. Would they play as the 5 as things are currently constituted? They got the first round. They got Dame.
So if currently constructed, they will play Clippers first round.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and then P, yeah, you got the first round. Sure. For sure. No, for sure. What are we talking about?
So out of these lower echelon teams, who do you think makes it in for those bottom 2 seeds? Dallas, Memphis, San Antonio, Golden State, or do the Pelicans make a run and get in there also?
Memphis, Dallas, Golden State. I think Steph is, while he's not a superstar by my books, he is good enough to get you into playoffs. So yeah, I'm gonna go there.
So you think if we're picking the 2 seeds, let's say Dallas stays at 7, at final seed, you think Warriors getting over Memphis?
Yeah, I think that'll be a playing game situation between those 2 teams. It'll be a good one at that. And if Ja gets Steph out of here in a 1 game, that's gonna be a lot of slander. It's gonna be a lot of somewhat slander. You know Steph benefits from his light skin privilege, but he'll get some slander out here. He'll get some slander.
Hey, you gotta be careful. We got 2 of the light skinned brothers on.
Who light skin?
Chris is light skin, bro.
We got Clay and Steph.
not in the summertime. It's my chocolate season.
Man, it must just be bright over there because you shine.
It's the light. It's the lighting up in here. You know, money bags.
You feel me? Hey, Greg, you got Clay and Steph on here, and you got Draymond and Andrew Wiggins up top. Me and you.
And Wiggins, you can't give me Wiggins. I know in no realm of life don't be compared to Wiggins. Let's talk about bread, which he's stolen. Get paid
I think Memphis is a team though to watch out. You don't per se want to play. They're playing well right now, even without Jaren Jackson being back. They're a defensive team. They're gonna make it ugly. They kind of remind you of just what Memphis has been for the longest. A grind pound team, like when they had Zebo and Tony Allen and John Morant over the last 10, 15 games. He's not even playing like John Morant, and they're still really doing well. You got Grayson Allen had a 30-point clip the other night. Dylan Brooks had 28. So I don't want to see Memphis if Utah. I would Phoenix, if they move up, I think Phoenix gets them out of there, but Memphis is going to be a tough out. I think they're even a more tough out than Golden State. If I'm a higher seed, I want to see Golden State because all I got to really worry about is Steph.
That's a direct indictment on Steph Curry. What you just said. Because I'm talking because I there's no other superstar in the league that I want to see. I don't want to see a superstar in a 1-game playing situation. I know you're talking about the series. You're talking about the series. I don't want to see you in the series either. I don't want to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if the NBA will do it.
Right. I'm looking at the top seeds: Utah, Phoenix. They'll handily sweep the Warriors 4-0.
Yeah.
You seeing Memphis that first round, you might sweep them 4-0, but it's going to be a tough. You're going to feel it. They're going to make sure you feel it in those 4 games. I guarantee it.
I think Memphis is a better team.
Exactly. So if I had to choose, I'd rather see Golden State over Memphis.
I second that, first of all, but I also think it's an indictment on Steph Curry. There's a bigger story to be talked about here about Steph Curry, a conversation that people aren't ready to have about Steph Curry. And I get it because he's light-skinned. I get that.
You know the vibes. All defensive team. We're going to close with this one. Season not over yet, but I think it's safe to say it's 20 games left. There's nothing that nobody's going to be able to do to make it that much of a jump for them to get on your all-defensive team. Who is on your all-defensive first team? We're not even going to do a second team. All-defensive first team, who do you have on your all-defensive NBA team this season? Me personally, I'm going to do Drew Holiday, Mikal Bridges,
out.
Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons.
That's 4 or 5. That's 4?
That's 4. And I'm going to put Robert Covington in there.
Robert Covington. Wow.
I would put LeBron, but because of the injuries, to me, this is how I always view any of the awards. If you don't play a certain amount of games, you miss a significant amount of time, you can't get these awards. If we're not about that, like for example, Anthony Davis obviously to me is a better defender. Embiid has played well defensively, but Embiid's missed 16, 17 games, which is a chunk of a season of a shortened season as that already. So I'm not giving it to them. I'll probably, you could throw Miles Turner in the conversation, but he would be on my second team. CP3 would be on my second team. That's how I see my all defensive team.
So, all right, so I'm happy you said that because my team almost looks exactly the same. Drew Holiday, Cal Bridges, Cal Bridges. Who else we got there? I can think it was Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons. That was a 4, and then I'm gonna go Lou Dort instead. That's my 5th. Lou Dort is the by far superior defender, the most guys in the league in the perimeter. So he's an up and coming guy. That's how he's made his money in the NBA. Lou Dort's my 5th. So that's my 5 guys right there. Yeah, LeBron can't get it. I'm not giving it to Bron or AD, and I think under normal circumstances they'd be on there this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, let me ask you this before you move on. How do you think the people that are choosing the players that get these awards? What do you think really goes into their thought process? Right?
They're a bunch of nerds, and they're gonna look at defensive rating and stuff.
Yo, Craig is just becoming at everybody left.
They're nerds.
I think it's like pitching too. It's the human side of it. They're watching the game. They're like, yo, this person has been gone for 15, 16 games. I can't give them this award. Same thing with MVP. Greg, just hear me out. I'm not saying it should be the case, but because of the injuries, you might see a Nikola Jokic now get the MVP because Embiid's been out for a lot of the season. LeBron's been out of the season. And now James Harden is injured, and he's probably going to be out for the rest of the season, honestly, because he's getting reevaluated in 10 days. He's not coming back in 10 days, and that's a hammy. We saw how long KD was out with the same injury, essentially. You're going to see Nikola Jokic is now part of that conversation.
He was always part of the conversation. They've been trying to give it to him off the rip. So, that's what that is. But my thing is it doesn't put him over Dame, in my opinion.
Oh, of course not. But I think if I'm a betting man and you check the odds,
yeah,
I'm picking Jokic for them to give it to him. Miles, who's on your all-defensive team? You got Elfrid Payton on there?
I don't even know who to put on this team, honestly. I'm keeping it a buck with you. Of course, you got to put Ben Simmons up there. He's been D'ing 1 through 5 all season. Rudy Gobert, it's almost a given every year.
Nobody from the Knicks. They're a top 3 defensive team.
That's because we play great team defense. We play great team defense. But
okay. Just making sure.
But
y'all better stop playing with him.
That's all I got. I don't have that many people on my team.
Oh. Man, y'all know the vibes, bro. If y'all stay ready, y'all gotta get ready. Bench mob, we out. Peace. Lakers in 6. Knicks ain't doing